Let me get it shared to George so that he can see it. Good morning, George.
Good morning, Joey. Good morning, everybody out there, pool fans. This is what, day 6 or day 5?
I
Day
lost
6.
track, George, to be honest with you.
Uh, I think we only did one match on day 5, and there's Fedor Gorst uh, hanging up the 2 ball. He is playing Corey Hendricks. Let me get some info on Corey here. We
He,
just
I
were
think,
able to get on.
yeah, I think he's
We're,
just over a 600 player, maybe 603 or something. Guys, let us know if you can hear us and see us okay.
we all know who Fedor Gorst is. He's got some rafters up there, some banners up in the rafters. In fact, let's be exact. He's got 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 banners up on the rafters, and that's just in 2 years. Joshua Filler now has 2. Thank you, sweetheart. He's got the Bigfoot and the Banks. Let's see what we can do for Joshua with the 1 pocket and the 9 ball coming up. We had a big upset in the 1 pocket world. Alex Pagalian went down 3-1 to Joshua O'Neill.
Well, I tell you what, that was a nice cut there by Corey, and he did not get rewarded, did not get shape on the 7, but really stroked that ball in nicely.
It's funny how that ball traveled all the way across the table, 2 rails out of the corner, just to get behind the 9 ball. He found, the 3 square inches on the table where he couldn't hit it? And there's, 5,000
It's like
square
I told
inches
you
on pool
the
table?
other day, George, that advice that I heard. Think of the worst thing that could happen on every shot and don't do it.
Well, I think he said he really had to cut the ball because I didn't see the shot. I just saw the results. If he had to cut the ball, that meant his cue ball had to travel a long way. And
Yeah.
when you're traveling the ball that much,
George, one thing I'm looking forward to with the 9 ball now started is a little less complicated scorekeeping. And to that point, hey, Crypto, what's up, buddy? To that point, I believe the score is 0-0, but I cannot confirm yet because this stream kind of opened up a little late. And so it's possible that that they've already played a game, but probably not 2. So bear with us.
I have a feeling that somebody else may have the same match up. And
I don't think so, George.
You don't think so?
No, I created the score overlay, and just looking at kind of the matches that are up. There's a big selection of matches right now with good players playing, like 600, 650 level players. So I picked this one. I wanted to see Fedor. We've seen him quite a bit in Banks. I wanted to see him play some 9 ball and see how he's stroking him.
Well, he's probably stroking him very well. He's got one of the best breaks in 9 ball. He's the most consistent breaker. Is that Joshua Filler on the right there? Yes, it is.
Yeah.
One of the great things about Derby is there's 500, 550 players, and then you have the elites. And when the elites play the guys in the 650 to 750 range, a lot of us or a lot of players can get an idea how they might be able to do against these guys.
Yep.
Because we're in that range. Some of us are in that range. Other ones like myself, we sit here and just talk about it anymore.
Well, George, it kind of separates I think the folks that just really have the heart to play the game from just decent players, right? Because this is a world-class player right here. So you kind of have to get geared up and not be all inspired. You have to think, hey, he puts his pants on one leg at a time, just like me. So I just need to bear down and do what I can do. And if you do, you'll probably get a couple games off of him. If you don't, It'll be a whitewash, and you'll be talking about how you played Fedor Gorst one day.
Yeah, and he got beat 9-0.
Yep.
Of course, you always want to avoid those bad beats like that, but it's not very unusual. But usually getting 3 to 5 games in a race to 8 or 9 is about right for a 650, 700, 750 player.
Yeah.
And sometimes in a race, I mean, I believe that it's winter break. So if it is winter break, well, a 650 or 700 player can put together a little 3-pack or a little 4-pack once in a while, or a 2-pack. Just 2-packs are so important.
Well, I tell you what, here we go. Here's a chance for Corey. He's got ball in hand. He's got, 6 balls, 7 balls left? 6 balls left on the table.
And that's probably the hardest part of it right there. The rest of it, he can just take care of by leaving the cue ball in the middle of the table. And that's just it, is holding it together for runs like this. Making sure you don't bump balls. Did he get behind the 7?
Nope, he worked out. He's got the 5
it's the
now.
5 next. Okay, I thought that was, okay.
So he's got a nice little 2-railer here to come around the green 6. Just doesn't want to hit it too hard to bring the 9 ball in play. And he bobbles it.
See, that's the whole key right there. Now, that's a shot that a 650 to 750 player it has in his tool bag, but you have to pull out that shot. You can't leave it in the tool bag.
Yeah.
Nice kick. I thought he had it.
Well,
he's gonna get rewarded for hitting the ball.
Well, it's not as much him getting rewarded as it is Corey getting punished for not pocketing that ball, right? It seems like that happens all the time. You have a makeable shot, you miss it, leave something bad, and then all of a sudden you get left bad, and you're like, wow, Fedor got so lucky there. Well, no. You should have pocketed the ball.
Fedor should have never come to the table. You allowed it.
Exactly. Yeah, Corey Hendricks, let's see. 603 player out of Missouri.
So he must know our buddy AJ.
AJ's in Mississippi, I think.
Well, but all those guys play each other here and there. They have regional tournaments, and they show up because they have some pretty big tournaments down there on a weekly basis half the time.
Nice shot here by Fedor. So Corey's got 2 options. He can kick off that top rail we're looking at and come behind the 5. That would be a more safe play, I think, because you're going to create separation. Here he's going to pocket the orange 5 with this kick and missed it.
Now, see, the difference there was the 8 ball disturbed his angle. He was parallel lining it from diamond to diamond. Yeah. And you can see the way he laid his cue stick. And the 8 ball didn't give him the natural line that he saw. So he had to use a little bit of spin, and he overspun it.
Yeah. Hey, folks, just to give you an idea, this is round 1 of 9 ball, but one pocket is still going on. The banks were won by Joshua Filler the other night, as well as the Bigfoot on the 10-foot table 10 ball. So, yeah, we're into the 9 ball. Race to 9, guys. Race to 9, sorry.
Three-file rule is played at Derby. And usually the 9 ball, the guys don't even bother trying to go for a 3-file. They love that run out because they break so nice. They open up. And this will be 2-0, Fedor?
I believe so. We're still waiting on confirmation on that. See, guys, sometimes we can... I actually, George, I've been fielding emails from people that are really frustrated with the scoring. And I have to explain, we're not there, and we're getting this feed remotely. And occasionally, like in this case, I was set up completely on this table, ready to go. And then after the previous round matches, they shut off the feed, and then they restart the feed. Well, by the time the feed restarted, the match had already started, or at least by the time I noticed it. So we're kind of assuming here on the score, it's at least 2-0 Fedor. It could possibly be 3-0 or 2-1, but I'm trying to get confirmation.
Well, breaking just a little bit. I wonder if you have to break from the box. I forgot what the rules are.
Yeah, I believe it is the same. I think this is a Matchroom points event. The reason I think that is because Emily is coming from Matchroom in the next day or two. And so I did notice they have the 9 on the spot, and it does appear that they're breaking from the break box, same as the Matchroom rules.
Okay. Yeah, I do know that the 9-ball is a matchroom event. Or a points event, excuse me. Hope I don't get fired for this.
No.
I'm just teasing.
This is not a matchroom production.
I was totally teasing.
Fedor tries the bank there. Check out the speed on that, George. It's almost like he was a two-way trying to play safe and bank the ball.
Well, he also wanted to get the cue ball past the side pocket for the 2.
Nice shot by Corey.
And no reward.
Yeah.
Ends up behind a 5.
Yeah, you kind of get the feeling just from his body language. He kind of turned to Fedor and said something there. It's almost like he's happy to be here playing Fedor Gorst.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd kind of like to see him focus a little more. As a 600 player, if he wins a game or two, he might get a little bit of confidence and kind of at least put a little bit of caution in Fedor's step.
I was going to ask you about the shot he just shot. I was going to ask if you'd rather 2-rail this to have a chance of kicking the 2-ball down behind the balls at the top of your screen.
Hey, Melina Mike, instead of watching our stream, get a score for us. We just need to make sure this is... He's putting stuff in the comments, and I'm texting him to get a score on this because we started it a little bit late.
I'm wondering why I can't get the comments on my Facebook page.
Yeah, I don't know, George.
I really don't understand that. Oh, there he goes. I got him now. I can see him now. I had it on full screen, and I moved it around.
Yeah, guys, this is happening live. Maybe a 30, 60-second delay, but pretty much live. So this is Derby City Classic 9-ball. Thanks for waking up with us.
Waking up to Fedor Gorst in the morning. Pool fans, I don't know how many we got out there, but we're going to get a lot of that in the next quite a few years, waking up to Fedor or Filler. In fact, right now we woke up to both of them because Filler's on the table to the right of your screen. He just sat down. And on some of these pools, and that's Tony Chohan at the bottom of your screen.
It's a good shot there by Fedor. You'll see him shoot that shot probably 15 or 20 times in a race to 9, maybe more, where he just leaves himself a good angle and stuns across the table.
Well, he's one of the best at going angle to angle and always having just the right one. Always on the correct side of the ball. And in 9-ball, if you're doing that, you're running racks.
It's an easy game.
You always have shots like that 9-ball.
It's an easy game when you're doing that, George.
And here we are, 3-0, if that's what 3-0 that we've seen. How's that for a score?
Yeah, I think it's good. Hey, we got Antti Lohikoski. Hope I pronounced that okay, but from Finland in the house, 5 p.m. in Finland. Thanks for tuning in, man. Derby City Classic here. George, someone's at the door. I'm letting them in.
Yeah, I had that yesterday. Had to go out and pick up my trash.
Yeah.
Evelina said good morning.
Hey, Daniel, can you hear us okay?
Yes, I hear you.
Yeah.
Good morning, Daniel.
So I just want to welcome, we have a guest commentator today, really good player, originally from Switzerland, I think, and living in, Austin, Texas now?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, Daniel Schneider. Welcome to the commentary booth.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Daniel, are you able to see the screen okay?
Yeah, I think I maybe need to change how I have my device holding here, but I think, should work okay.
Okay,
Who
great.
do we have playing? Fedor Gorst
and Corey Hendricks. He's out of Missouri. He's a 603 Fargo. Fedor's off to a fast start. It's 3-0. No surprise there. And it looks like he's running out to make it 4-0.
All right, so he's happy to be swinging the cue after all these banks in one pocket and Bigfoot, but one pocket is still going on, right?
Yeah, I think we're in round, let's see. I'll look that up. One pocket should be like round 8 or 9. I think it's getting pretty deep. You know what? All the matches that they have up on the schedule right now are 9-ball, from what I see. So they're probably waiting till later in the day to play some more one pocket. So I can't really tell you what round. But I think I saw Brandon Schuff post today that he's on to like round 7 or 8. He's had some big wins. He beat Justin Hall. That was a good win.
Yeah, I saw that post. Yeah.
Brandon Schuff is a very, very capable player.
You know, George, I used to love seeing Brandon's name in the bracket way back in the day. I was like, oh, a guy I can beat. And then all of a sudden, I couldn't beat him anymore, and then I didn't want to see him.
Yeah, these players that are like this yesterday, Joshua O'Neill, you said he's an up-and-coming player, and he defeated Alex Pagulayan in one pocket last night. And you said he's an up-and-coming player. At that point, you cross the threshold somewhere along there. Like a big win beating Alex will give him such a mental boost. I mean, that's a huge, huge win. Even though Alex didn't play his best, it's still, you went home with a win from Derby City over Alex Pagulayan. Not many can say that.
True. Daniel, have you ever made it out to Derby City?
I have not, unfortunately. Yeah, I've not made it the first. So I've been to the U.S. I've been living in the U.S. for 4 years now. Just, I'm past the 4-year mark. And the first 2 years I was playing mainly the Predator Pro events. And then the past year we had like relocation from like San Antonio to Austin, not that far, but making sure family's well and everything is stabilized again. Took me a little bit away from the big tournaments and traveling 1-2 weeks at a time. So I'm going to try to get back into that with going to Vegas for the Predator event and hopefully more events after that. But yeah, Derby is like a very interesting event. My brother has been there and he said it's just brutal for the players, right? Because you're playing very long days and you're never sure what your next match is going to be because there is no bracket, because it's redraw every round.
Yeah, it's a unique experience for sure.
I think as a player, it's a difficult thing because, you have no bracket where, okay, if I win this match, the next one is going to be that match, and then where am I next, right? But with the rebuys and everything, you never know what's going to happen next round.
Yeah, it just means you're fully engaged all the time.
You have to be ready nonstop, right? So, yeah,
I think
definitely an event to see.
I think this event is like the signature United States pool event, right? Because you being European, Daniel, I'm sure there's nothing really like this. I think they've tried some one-pocket tournaments and things like that, but here you're playing in 3 different disciplines. The format is completely unique. There's tons of gambling and action going on. So it's got to be completely a different experience for a lot of the European players.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, in fact, I think there is a few guys, or at least in the past, that traveled to Derby City just to be there for the action a few days. Like, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Alex Laley, known as a great coach and player himself, used to travel to Derby City from Europe just for a couple of days to be in the action rooms. And he just lived on European time, basically gambling all night, sleeping during the day,
Yeah.
So that just tells you what's going on at this event, yeah.
Alex does like to gamble. And he loves one pocket.
Guys, if you were at this event right now, this would be a great place to be posted up because Fedor's playing on this table. I see Josh to the table on the right, and I believe I saw Victor Zielinski on the table to the left. So getting to see 3 really amazing pool players on 3 tables right next to each other.
And right below Fedor right now, I believe I thought I saw Tony Chohan. So, and there's a guy that people don't mention his 9-ball game, but it's a very good one.
Yeah. I mean, the field is so strong, right? I mean, who do you want to pick here? You can just choose from these 2 guys, Fedor or Gorst, right? But then there is another 15, 20 guys that you could possibly choose from, or might be surprised that they go very deep.
And then once in a while, every other year, we find someone that can be called the giant killer because he comes across and he surprises some of these guys. So there's a little bit of everything at 1,500 players or entries, excuse me, in 3 events.
Absolutely. Was it last year or the year before that the Fedor sweep event?
Last year he had a big year. I don't think he won every event, but I think he might have won 3 out of 4. George.
Last year he did. He won 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5.
He won the Banks 9-ball and the Master of the Table. Year before he got 3 also. He got the Banks 9-ball. He got the Bank Pool, 1 pocket, and the Master of the Table.
Because Bigfoot doesn't count into the mix, right?
No.
So it's Banks, 1 pocket, and 9-ball.
Last year the Bigfoot was Joshua Filler. It was Shane Van Bonen. The year before was Joshua Filler. And then he's won it again this year. So 2 out of 3 years he's won that.
Yeah, Filler is definitely a big contender here if he goes deep in the 9-ball to win the all-around, right?
Sure. Because you could almost bet money he'll go high in the 1 pocket.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting to see, or at least for me as European, knowing that in Europe, these other games, other than rotation, straight pool, 8-ball, is not really a big game. And then you have now Fedor. Well, Fedor is living here, obviously, for a while now. And Filler and many others that play really well Banks and 1 pocket now. That were not 1 pocket players growing up. Not like when you grow up in the U.S.
And Daniel, one of the things about the European players, since you just mentioned that they're pretty much devoted to rotational games, 1 pocket will develop some of your rotational games. It will really increase your safety capabilities, and you just see them more often. You just get used to playing them more often. It's not all about run out.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great mix into the thing, because if you're already, come over here, play to the US and you're already Fargo 800, and now you suddenly learn a new skill basically with Banks and 1 pocket, how much more are you going to get? How much better?
Exactly. That was a very pretty shot by Fedor. And to me, that's one of the beauties of 9-ball, was he shot at the ball and also tried to make the 9-ball, and I think it was the 2-ball that he shot at, went 3 rails and went in the corner pocket, and Fedor looked over at his opponent and just smiled. But he gave the 9-ball a ride.
It's not really fair for Fedor to get a roll, okay? He should never get a roll.
But you see, those are, I don't know, in 9-ball I call those calculator rolls, because you're rolling the ball on purpose. And you're making a solid hit. You're giving the 9-ball a chance to win. And now we're a little tight here. You're going to have to go rail first. Somebody better stand between that 5-ball and 4-ball and ensure it's a good hit. Because Fedor's too far away to call it himself.
Oh, here's a chance. Come on, Corey. Let's get on the board.
Yeah, that was a little bit too close to the rail to play to the short rail.
Yeah, he had to clip it real thin. Exactly.
Yeah, there's a good chance here. Even though, I mean, the 6 is on the rail, then you have to go over to the 7, and then from the 7 to the other side of the table again. So there's a little bit of work to do, and he seems to be a little straight on the 5.
And there it is. Oh, it's going to come out. It came out
good.
Enough.
Yeah, I think he's good.
It came out good.
Hey, guys, I want to thank you all for joining. We got a bunch of people watching on Facebook and YouTube. This is Joey Ryan from Doggin' It. I'm joined in the booth by George Teashea and Daniel Schneider. Having a lot of fun here. Guys, check out the sponsors along the bottom. They help Melina Mike get out to the event. The ones scrolling in the bottom right are sponsoring this live stream, so huge thanks to them. And then also Premier Billiards, who's our title sponsor, as Corey misses the 7-ball there. Daniel, I got a question for you. So, with you being like a 730-ish player, there's times where you're in matches and you're the heavy favorite, and then there's times where you're playing against top competition where you're an underdog, as Fedor avoids the scratch there. We were talking earlier about this match, and if Corey's kind of got to shoot back at Fedor a little, or Fedor goes on cruise control. Have you had those moments in matches where maybe you're a heavy favorite and somebody shoots back at you and it adds pressure to it, or the opposite side where maybe you're playing an 800 player and you do that to them?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you're in Corey's shoes, I feel like, there is a big gap there, but obviously being a 600, you can string a rack or two together. So you just really have to come out of the gate and try to win the first couple of games. Because if you give Fedor the free roll in the beginning, right, then he's going to go cruise control. And if he's 6-0 up, most likely he's not going to make enough mistakes for you to come back. So then it's really, really hard. So if you're the lower player, you just have to keep on, stay close with the score and try to make your points and give a little bit of pressure. And sometimes even the top guys will make a mistake here and there if there is enough surprise pressure, let's say it that way, for them. Because if they're playing, if Fedor is playing filler, then he knows he's going to get pressure back a lot and he needs to bring his A game, right? As where in this match, he knows he probably doesn't need to play 100% in order to win. So if he were to get a little bit of pressure, then that would be, then he, then it could get dangerous, I guess. But yeah, as a player, for Fedor, I feel like for him it's a match where he really has to, just kind of get into the headspace of 9-ball after playing all these other games, and that gives him the chance here to feel the table for rotation.
Thank you for that. Yeah, Jared Bauman, we don't really have a plan for today. The rounds have been selected. There's a few good matches. There's a lot of different options. We're going to kind of feel it out, and depending on what's in store each of the hours, we'll bring you guys some form of good match, quality players, so that you can really enjoy this 9-ball part.
And I want to shout out to Priscilla Hernandez, who's in the chat, Peggy Mellon, who's from Arizona, Tim Daniel, how you guys doing? Welcome to Derby City. Get a small feel for it. Some nice insights by Joe Urian and Daniel Schneider. I've actually had the pleasure of doing quite a bit of commentary with Daniel Schneider on the Predator Pro Billiard Series. He doesn't admit to it, but I will.
No, that's of course, that's always fun. Yeah,
sure. I remember when you were moving to San Antonio, and now I heard you were in Austin. My son lives in Austin, so I actually get to the area once in a while.
Well, let me know if you're around here.
I will. I'll meet you at Skinny Bob's. He lives 20 minutes away. He lives in Georgetown.
All right. Yeah, he lives on the other side of Austin. I live the south side, basically. So it takes me about 40 minutes to get to Skinny Bob's, but it's not far. Yeah.
We got all the celebrities in the chat. Chrissy, Jersey Girl Promotions, welcome. Fedor made that shot in the side look so easy. He had to negotiate between the 8 and 9, and it was just like can of corn. Smooth stroke the ball right in and work his ball right in between those balls. Makes it look so easy.
And then we have a celebrity of her own rights, Jennifer Abbott. She's now with Jam Up and travels to all the tournaments.
She's actually going out there, George. She spent the last 5 days, I think, in Atlantic City, and now she's racing out to Derby City.
I actually saw that on Facebook. Yeah, I saw her post on Facebook.
It's awesome.
It's kind of fun to see all these people.
I tell you, a lot of people, George, don't realize it, but when you follow people on Facebook and you get to know them a little bit, they can be inspiring to you. And I just made a pretty big life decision myself, and seeing what she's been doing has been pretty inspiring. She's taken a chance on herself, and I said, hey, that's pretty cool. I think I'll do the same.
Well, actually, Joey, I saw Jennifer at, I believe it was the Michigan event. I think that was her first one. And then she got on with them, and I believe she was in Austria, Puerto Rico. So, yeah, she's traveling the world on their dime and doing a great job with them. I mean, you really see her hustle her tail off at the event. She doesn't sit there behind the booth. She makes it happen.
Hey, I'd like to get Daniel's perspective on this. The table's swaying a little bit, guys. Sorry about that. It's actually the camera swing. The 2-ball here is an interesting proposition, getting from the 2 to the 3. Would you play the 2 in that top left corner, Daniel, and just stun out?
Well, he has bowling hand. Sorry, that happened already, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it happened, and
it happened already. I was too slow,
Well, this works too. I think the safer play. Yeah, I think the safer play for me would have been shooting the 1 on the side and then sliding over, stunning, and leaving the cue ball by where the magic rack is. But,
yeah, but that was actually, I mean, it wasn't too bad because he had 2 options, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he picked the one that worked.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, he had 2 options, and he picked the one that worked. Now he's okay. He can go middle table and actually get himself a decent angle to then stay center table for the 7, right?
I like the way he has slowed himself down to get better composed. I think that is a conscious effort on his part to deal with the pressure he feels himself under.
Here's a shot where you can just, like, whatever you do, and this is something you should practice at home, is getting the cue ball to the center of the table from various shots, right? Because so often, if you can use that as a landmark on the table and say, I want the cue ball in the center of the table, you can be in a position to do good things. And right now, if that cue ball gets to the center of the table, which he elected to kind of stun over, he could have probably played that 3 rails and gotten to the center of the table, but he did give himself a chance to make this 7 ball.
He did, but he actually worked himself from to a hard shot to a harder shot.
Just make it.
He did, and that might reward him. But see that? Oh, he's okay.
It's makeable.
He's okay. Very makeable. And go ahead, Daniel.
He makes the balls, right? He just somehow is off by 1 or 2, by a foot, kind of, right?
Yeah. Well,
here and there.
Right there is kind of by an inch.
Watch the side.
Oh, no. I thought he could draw the ball past the side pocket for the 9 in the left-hand side.
That's a shame. That's actually the match, guys. We were behind 1 game. Sorry.
We were behind.
That was the race to 9. All right, let's try to skip over to the other match. Is Fedor still playing over there? Let me see. Fedor was on 16, so let's go to
right next.
Let's go to 14. Or is Victor still playing? Let's see. Nope. Looks like that match is done. Stand by. See, the problem with these guys is they shoot too good. We can't keep them. Let's see. Oh, Victor. Here we go. Let me reposition this table here.
Joey Betts, that's exactly what we were talking about earlier, how Derby is the place that you can just, you might get some easy matches, and you're going to get some matches like this, where you're going to get steamrolled. But what's I've heard used a lot lately is losing is learning.
Well,
if you're paying attention.
I've learned a lot in my day.
Well, okay. I'll be one. I'll give you an example. I've lived in Tucson all my life. Since 1970, I came here. And every time I would go to a pro event later on when I started playing pool, I'd come back playing a little better. But in Tucson, I was always one of the top, 5 or 6 players. And so who do you learn from? Because usually the top 5 or 6 won't play each other.
Yeah. I've had that experience, George, from moving to different cities. So each time you move to a different city, you get a whole new kind of base of players there. And I'll never forget, and sorry the table's swaying a little bit, guys. This is, it's the cameras are mounted on the lights of the opposite table. So when players move their ball, they move their point over, then we get some of this. I do apologize. But yeah, so I moved to Jacksonville, Florida, and then you play Dave Grossman and you play, Butch Croft and all the good players down there, and you get a little bit better. Then you move to Denver and you play Mark Vidal and you play Mark Haddad and you get a little bit better. So I've had that experience as well, George.
Yeah. So Zielinski is playing. We'll soon find out.
Yeah, let me look it up. This is just bonus coverage for you guys. A fella by the name of Gene Dreerup. Let me see if I can look him up.
Well,
okay, he's from Tennessee, and he's a 636 Fargo. Looks like Justin Hall's over there on the table to the left as well.
Yes, it is. The back turn cap.
Let me see.
Yeah, you guys were talking about losing is learning. Yeah, I mean, I feel like, if you come back from a tournament and you just won it, do you have motivation to get to the table and practice? I don't know. With me, it was always the opposite.
Oh, really?
Nobody likes to lose. Nobody likes to lose, right? So, like, if you go to tournament, you just play the great tournament and you win. Are you going next day to the table and practice whatever you practiced before? I don't know. I feel like the chance is a little lower. Maybe you're motivated, but you're already playing great, right? But if you just lost, then that was always more motivation for me to get back to the pool table and practice more, because I don't want to lose, no more like that, right? So yeah, that might be different for different players, but for me, it was always a fuel to practice more.
I agree, Daniel. It is different for different players. A lot of people, just like in business, you turn a success and you get on a roll. You can roll off your successes. And it's the same with pool, I think. And then sometimes one of those close matches that you lose can inspire you to really want to get out and practice. That shot cost me this game, or that, those rolls cost me this game. I got to do something about it. And you get out there and really hit the table. So sometimes it's just little situations that can motivate you or inspire you.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's just like a lot of people in their careers, when you're working, usually you work off your successes and you're able to really snowball them.
Wow, that was a big miss from
Victor. Has
he's missing it right now. Sorry, I was ahead. Or no, I was not ahead.
No, you were not ahead.
On the right screen.
Guys, the score is not 0-0, but we're working on getting that. I've been texting Molina. He's not doing anything. So I told him, get down there and get me a score.
And digital pool doesn't carry it because you have to enter it individually. Someone in the chat earlier mentioned that digital pool has a score. It's not your regular brackets. It's not carrying the scores.
Yeah.
They do have a scoreboard, but you have to update it manually. And we don't have that for this table because you have to start it at the very beginning.
Looks like he will either have to throw a curveball here or do a little bit of a jump.
He looks like he's going to lift it.
I tell you what, I'm getting dizzy watching this table.
Yeah, we're going to get seasick again?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to say this for the laugh value. Well, you got T-Rex right behind it, right underneath it.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, T-Rex is playing on the table right underneath.
Maybe he's mad and on tilt and slamming his ball marks each time he wins.
Stopping his feet.
Yeah,
T-Rex is a good guy. Glad. He was going for that 9-ball. Did you see that cue ball just narrowly missed that little cut?
I think it was kind of a two-way, right?
Yes, he was.
Maybe back, maybe the 9.
That is what I love about 9-ball. And see, in 10-ball, you'd have to call the 3 because you can't call them both. But in 9-ball, you can play them both. And so your creativity really, really stands out. And that's one thing that, well, guys like Fedor, guys like Zielinski, Chohan, they all have that working cue ball.
That was a good hit.
And not only can they make the ball, they can be aggressive with the cue ball.
You know, I've met with a lot of amateur players, and they've asked for advice on how to get better. And I've asked them, well, what do you play? And they're like, well, I play league a couple nights a week. He's going to play the 9-ball here, I'm pretty sure. But I play league a couple nights a week, and I play 8-ball. And I've encouraged them to play the rotation games. Oh, we can get a score here, George. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for Victor.
Are they using coins?
Yeah, Victor's using coins. And I've encouraged them to play rotation because of the fact that you have to play position on one ball and not even play position on that ball, but play position on that ball to then play position on the next ball. Whereas like an 8-ball, you can just keep your ball in the clear sometimes, and you'll have an opportunity to change your plan, so to speak. But I find that in rotation, you really need to have a plan.
Well, in rotation, you run the cue ball around the table. In 8-ball, you try to move it the least.
Yeah.
You let the pattern of the balls control your cue ball. And in rotation, you have to run the cue ball around.
Interesting.
Go ahead.
Where, sorry for interrupting. Interesting where Zielinski is breaking from, right? He's breaking straight down the middle, pretty much. Is the 9 on the spot or the 1 on the spot?
The 9 is the spot. 9's on the spot. Yes.
Hey guys, take a look at the coined area. I know Victor's on 7. It looks like Gene might be on 2. I think I see a coin under that first diamond to the top
There is
left.
one. It does look like one.
Got it.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Yeah, 7-2.
Okay,
right?
so we have a score, folks.
No thanks to Molina Mike. I love giving him a hard time.
I know you do it. I love laughing at it. I mean, laughing with you guys, not at it.
Victor missed the 3-ball long. But I'm wondering why he's breaking kind of unusual from the rail on the back and pretty much straight down the middle. If it's like, is it with break box? Or
Yes.
is it no break box? So it's basically match room format, right? Yeah, it's a match room ranking event, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, okay, so yeah, he would kind of break from the box and like he would usually break, but I'm curious why he's breaking different.
Yeah, John Hawley tells us in the chat that table 8, 9, and 10 have some good players, as well as Wolford, Fraser, and T-Rex.
Yeah, they can play a little.
Fraser can play some good 9-ball too. He's more known for one pocket and his power one pocket, but Scott can play some 9-ball.
Well, he went pretty deep in the banks. I know he was disappointed in one pocket. He went out rather early for him. I mean, you expect him to be down in the very late stages of it, but just some weird stuff happened. It's big pockets. It's race to 3, and things can happen, and he got eliminated from that. It's a nice little safety here by Gene.
Well, one of the things about big pockets, these are standard diamonds. They're the good pockets. They're just spoiled by the specialty tables and those 4 1/8 and 4 1/4 pockets. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to the world. Oh, look at this kick.
Good kick, what? The 5-ball doesn't seem like it's passing the 6.
What's a good shot here is to go ahead and play the 5-ball off the 6, one rail to the left-hand corner and just stop the cue ball right there.
Yeah, that might be an option.
If it doesn't pass, yeah. Oh, but I guess it passed. He was playing it.
Now he has an option to yeah.
Yeah, his option is to run out or to run out. He's straight in on the 5.
Well, I mean, Victor is on 7, right? So
yes,
he only needs 2 more games. So yeah, he needs to get on the board, or not on the board, but like he needs to to get your points.
he needs to keep Victor in the chair. Exactly.
let's see if he runs into 8-9 or draws it enough to pass them.
Yeah, he's okay. Now he's just a matter of making the ball. He's going to come down for position. If he puts just a half a tip of left-hand English, he can go 2 rails for the 8 to get back just past where he's at, I hope. He hopes. Just like that. Did he hit it good enough? Not hard enough. Now here's where he gets... which side do you go to here, Daniel? Do you like the left side of the 8 or the right side of the 8 to come up to the middle of the table, up to the head of the table?
To do what? To attack or play safe?
For the 8 ball. Well, that's just it. Are you going to attack or play safe here? I think he has to play safe.
Yeah, I mean, I think you want to basically bring the cue ball to the left side of the table on that second diamond, the middle diamond there on the height of the 9, and the 8 to the other side in the same spot. I feel like you have a good chance of hiding the 8 there.
Yeah, there's a couple options there. He could bank the 8 ball up table, leave the cue ball right on that rail. Hopefully the 9 be a blocker. He could play the shot Daniel suggested. He did a combination of those, really, where he just kind of banked the 8 up towards the side. The only bad thing for him is it ended up towards the side. And so if Victor can't see it, it's a pretty routine jump shot for a player of his caliber.
Oh, guess what, guys? Here, I think I saw that no jump cues are allowed.
At Derby?
Yeah. Yes. I'm not sure. Somebody in the chat, please correct me. But I remember I was kind of just glancing through all the rules, and I remember reading something about jump cues that they're not going to be allowed.
Huh.
Oh, we slid that one off the side.
That's very un-American. Just kidding.
Not really, right? I mean, just from my understanding.
It's old school, that's for sure.
It's old school, yeah.
And I was kind of surprised. I may be wrong. Yes, Dan Richardson in the chat says Derby is no jump cues.
Wow, I didn't realize that. Is that a new rule, guys?
I couldn't tell you. Never been, but like
I'm surprised. Yeah, I'm surprised. This is the rule with being a matchroom sanctioned event.
Exactly.
For some reason, I had the feeling all had the same kind of rules to adhere to, but maybe not the details.
That's the challenge, right, for Matchroom, having these ranking events and trying to get consistency among the events. So you have, like, as an example, no jump cues at Turning Stone, also loser racks at Turning Stone. So, you know, I don't think they were a ranking event this year, but I know they were a ranking event last year. That's obviously not consistent with how Matchroom would prefer or normally does things. And so if this event is no jump cues, that's also a little bit of an inconsistency there.
There was a comment in the chat saying that was just for Bigfoot, but no, I think it was for the 9 ball. Is where I think I read it.
Hey, Jack Davis. No, this is not Daniel Massiot. Good guess. This is Daniel Schneider. Good player from Switzerland, now resides in Austin, Texas. Daniel, what's the pool scene like in Switzerland?
Good question. In Switzerland, we don't have too many players. I would say like 200 pool players, maybe 250 in the whole country. But also, we only have 8 million people in the whole country, right? To say that, but the level is actually quite high under these 250 players. Like, I mean, you know, Ronald Regley, Dimitri Junge, there is like, let's say there's 5-6 players that are Fargo 750 plus. So there is a few strong players, and then a whole bunch that are in the close to 700 range. So the level is actually good. What we're missing is the mass, the lower level players mass that the US has, for example, right? So yeah, it's kind of, I would say, a typical European country. A lot of strong players, but the mass is missing.
In other words, there's no dead money. I say that with humor, folks.
Yeah, there is less money in the sport. Yeah, for sure.
No. What I meant, I guess you don't recognize that. Dead money is the players that get in a tournament that have no chance of cashing.
Well, actually, because there is a few that are so good, there's often the same ones cashing. For sure, yeah. All right, he's
Victor Zielinski on his way.
It looks like he's cruising to Victor here. Guys, after this one, we're going to shut down the stream for a little while, and then we'll be back and bring you another match shortly. So do me a favor, make sure you're subscribed, you're following, you got your notifications turned on. Huge shout out to our sponsors. You see them along the bottom there. They help get Molina Mike to the event. Premier Billiards is our featured title sponsor for the event, and then all the sponsors that are scrolling on the bottom right hand side. So just want to give them a huge shout out. Also, big shout out to George Teashea and Daniel Schneider. Thanks for joining, guys.
Our pleasure, Joey. It's great being here. Good to talk to you again, Daniel. Maybe we'll see you down the road.
Good to talk to you guys.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Daniel.
Good luck